Hello there. This is Mike and my partner Rainbow.
Rainbow.
We live in the world of the paranormal. And we're going to wish you, first of all, a very happy 2021. And we know it's going to be a better year. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I have been in the world of the paranormal for over 50 years. And I have some expertise in a variety of different areas, such as UFOs, alien abductions, Dogman, Sasquatch, underground bases, just a variety of different areas, hauntings. So anyways, I've been doing it for a very long time. And so we're here and we're going to do a bunch of different episodes on our channel. And we
Our
hope
channel is called Dimensional Walking.
Yes, Dimensional Walking. And I hope you really enjoy us. And I'm going to let Rainbow tell a little bit about herself, and we'll go from there.
Well, as a couple, we offer something that is very unique, I think unique in the paranormal field. And it's because Michael is more of the researcher, and I'm more of the experiencer, and I'm an empath. And I come from a family of gypsies. I think on my mother's side, we're third, fourth generation empaths, and on my father's side as well. So I've been an experiencer since I was a child, and basically what I've done throughout my whole life is looked for answers. And so what brought us together is that we're both truth seekers in a different way, and I think that we can bring something different to the table from Michael's viewpoint and from my viewpoint. So I've been dealing with hauntings, and I was an abductee. I've dealt with men in black. I've dealt with skinwalkers, witches. I, in my 20s, was studying to be a medicine woman, and I was in Taos, New Mexico, studying there. I was married to a medicine man. So I have that kind of background that I think can help in our research. And it brings a different type of, I think the word is magic, to what we do, because we both have something from our backgrounds that we bring together that makes what we come up with different and unique. And we're looking forward to actually getting all this information out to everybody. And that's why we decided to do our channel, Dimensional Walking.
Okay, Rainbow. So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll give you a little bit of a taste of some of the areas that we've had some experiences in and some of the research we've done. So we'll kind of go through some of the areas that we can eventually do whole episodes on. And that way just have a little bit of an idea of what we're all about and where we can go, etc. We also will eventually want you to feed back to us information, questions, and what things you're interested in us to give you information about. So we'll go from there. Rainbow?
Well, the reason why we called our channel Dimensional Walking is because many moons ago, when I was studying to be a medicine woman, that's basically what I was trained in. So Thunderbow would have me go into the dream world, and there were certain things that I had to do in my training, and I did it for many years. And we also believed that I was trained as a child by the Greys, and that's thus where the name came from, Dimensional Walking, because it is believed that a lot of people do many things in the dream state. And if you're trained in that, I think it can affect your daytime experiences, and that's kind of what we were going for, because as a medicine woman, I was trying to find answers for people if they had any problems. It's different than remote viewing, just so you know, and it's different than other aspects of the dream phase or the dream time. It's kind of closer to Carlos Castaneda in The Warrior's Way. And so what that means is the whole genre of the dream state has to do with everything in the waking state. So there's many things you can do in both. You can find answers out also while you're sleeping. and it gives you a different aspect of what we can do as human beings. And so it's something that we felt was really important to put out there because it's not really talked about. So that's why we named our channel Dimensional Walking.
Okay, great. So what else would we want to talk about here? You want to do what else?
Well, we want to talk to you guys about basically what it is that we do. Because Michael, pretty much what happened with Michael and I is that I had met Michael through New Mexico UFO Paranormal Forum.
Yeah.
I was actually an invited guest to speak, and that's basically how Michael and I met. And so, as a paranormal couple, we met in a genre where it had everything to do with everything that we both are interested in and love. Michael's group went all over the map. He had everybody coming in to speak with his forum. And so that's important that I wanted to get out, is that how we met was actually based on the paranormal.
Yes, and let me tell you a little bit about the New Mexico UFO Paranormal Forum, which probably was right around 2007. Probably about 6 of us in Albuquerque, New Mexico, developed this group, and it ended up being one of the largest groups probably in the United States. So I was helped develop it with these group of other peoples, and I ran it for probably about 8 years before we moved up to Utah. So anyways, we were bringing speakers from all over the United States. A lot of the subject matter ended up being from New Mexico, because New Mexico is a land of enchantment, and there's a lot of really interesting things in New Mexico and the Southwest, of course. So some of the speakers came from those areas because they had some really wonderful experiences that we wanted to share. So we did. We shared it, and it was great. It was great. Everybody enjoyed it, and people from all walks of life came to see the forum. We had some great speakers.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
great speakers.
We
had Travis Walton,
Clifford Stone, Niara Isley,
right, to name a few. So there was many from and around the country, and many of them from the Southwest. So that's one thing we do. I also probably 15 years ago developed a website called True Seeker Forum, which has a lot of the things we'll talk about on there. We're going to talk about in more detail than I have on there, but that is the site that we have, and Rainbow also writes for that, writes on that site also. And then she also writes on Paranormal Underground, which I'll let her tell you a little bit more about that.
Paranormal Underground is a magazine, and I've been writing for them for, about 4 years. And basically what I've done is I've written about experiences that Michael and I've had, or experiences that I've had growing up. Pretty much, Michael and I have a great connection and passion for Sasquatch. And that also is another area that brought us together, is Michael has been passionate about Sasquatch since he was a teenager. And then once I met Michael as an empath, I became in contact with one in particular in Albuquerque, New Mexico, called Loki. And then Dogman named Tulak, and then another Sasquatch in Oregon named Morja. So we've had wonderful experiences in that field, but I think it's really more important for Michael to talk to you about his great passion for Sasquatch.
Yes, that started when I was about 17 years old. Unfortunately, it didn't quite get off to a grand start. A dear friend of mine, when I lived in Milwaukee, we planned a trip to Seattle, and then from Seattle we were going to explore out and really get into the world of Sasquatch. We had at that point read many books. We were ready to go. Unfortunately, he died in a car accident, and I never really got a good start with the Sasquatch exploring, I guess. But years later, as time went on, I eventually did some expeditions and with some really good researcher. In fact, one of the best researchers, I think, in the world, Kiwani Lapsaritis. So we did a lot of exploring in Idaho and Montana and eastern part of Washington State. So there's some pretty amazing experiences we had there, and I'll probably share those down the road with you. So, you know, and the Sasquatch has kind of been a thread throughout my life. You know, I was involved with you know, UFOs and alien abductions in the past. So you know, I did those things, and anyway, so you want to go through and do a little bit more, because
Sure.
there's some other things we can go ahead.
Yeah, we'll just go through these briefly.
Okay.
We do research, and so we did, and I wrote about it in Utah. We went to a restaurant called Leslie's Family Tree Restaurant. I believe the Ghost Adventures did a special on that one. We've been to Skinwalker Ranch. We go to cemeteries not because we're creepy people, but because as an empath, I get information from cemeteries. Probably be talking about that down the line, because I did have a phenomenal experience with my older sister Holly, and with the Civil War. So that was really interesting. We'll talk about the incubus and the succubus, witches, shapeshifters, and dark shamans. Abductions, UFOs, and as an experiencer, you get my point of view and my memories that I've had, and then Michael did research with his sister years
Teresa.
ago.
Yeah, Teresa, and she's a doctor, and we did abduction research out in North and South Carolina. When it was all said and done, I probably have about 2,000 interviews with abductees. And some contactees, I guess. You know, I think they're sort of the same of one, but anyways, we did a lot of really great research out there, and we'll talk about that in another segment, probably a full segment or many segments. Who knows how it will go, depending if you want us to talk about that. It really will depend on that.
And why don't you talk about your Vortex photography?
Yeah, so Vortex Photography is another thing I do, and if you want to see some of that, you can go to truthseekerforum.com and just put it in the search bucket Vortex, and what you'll get is a series of photos, and on those photos were almost anything from ghosts to fairy people, to Sasquatch, the Dogman. There's all kinds of photos on there. Now, I will tell you this. You're going to go there and you may say, yeah, I see it. And you may go there and say, no, I don't. Just so you understand, everybody doesn't seem to be able to see all the different things. But for the most part, you're going to probably see some of them, which is really important. And so anyways, those were, and the reason I did Vortex Photography, I'll tell you real quickly, was that I had talked to a shaman, and we were talking about something completely different, and he just all of a sudden brought up to me, he said, listen, Mike, if you want to get some really cool pictures, you will take pictures of the dark in the woods. So at first I didn't even know what he was talking about, and then he explained a little bit more. So what I would do is I go to the woods, forest, whatever, and wherever there's dark shadows or darkness, I would take a photo of that, just a random photo, not really focused, just hit it, and just, you know, and what I found was some amazing things.
And just, I want to just interject here.
Sure.
Not everybody can do it. I mean, I have taken photographs, and it's only certain cases when it's happened for me, when I've been told by something or someone to take photographs, like we did in Dugway.
Right.
But Michael can get photos of different entities and beings all the time. And some people just have a knack for that. Michael has a knack for that.
Yeah, I don't really know if it's a knack. I just.
Well, they come through for you and they don't for me. Not all the
Right,
time.
right.
So.
And I don't know what it is. I have this old, it's a fairly old now, regular camera, digital camera. It's nothing special. It probably isn't even as good as most cell phone
But it
cameras.
always comes through.
But it seems to come through better than anything else.
Oh,
It
yeah.
really some amazing photos of all kinds of different things that you just cannot even believe. But anyways, you can check those out. We'll probably, like I say, do an episode or two on Vortex Photography and really try it.
And you should.
You should try it. Just go out there in the woods when you're hiking. Just take a picture of the darkness in the woods. Any place that's a dark spot, and then just take it back home and blow it up, move it around, focus it, etc. And you're gonna see. I really believe you will. Now there is another little trick, and one of the reasons I got some really exceptional ones, I still believe, is because people do vortex photography, but what they do is they have somebody douse a map or an area for them.
And Kiwani does that for you.
Yeah, Kiwani does that for me. He'll douse, and those places when I go and look and find those places and actually do some photography there, that seems to be the ones I get the most.
And you can really feel the energy. Oof.
Yes, if you can feel the energy, it definitely is something going on there. And that's where I can get some really exceptional pictures of some really exceptional beings there. And not saying I haven't gotten them just randomly going in the woods. I have, but for some reason it's even better there.
I can vouch for him. He's gotten photographs every time he's gone out. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, we usually always get something when we go hiking. Sometimes they're interesting, and sometimes I probably taken 10,000 photos, and I'm sure vast majority of those we just delete. But there is the ones that you don't.
Yeah,
they're
there's the few that
they're
you
like the
go,
wow.
whoa.
Yeah, they're amazing. You just cannot believe it. But anyways, okay, next.
Montauk.
Montauk. Montauk.
You got to tell them how you got involved with that.
Yeah, I'll talk about that real quickly. Montauk. So I went to Mount Shasta, of all places, and was doing some meditation on the mountain. And I guess I made some contact, at least I believe, with some entities that were in the mountain or around the mountain. And some reason they just directed me to go to the bookstore in Mount Shasta, a little town called Mount Shasta. And there's a bookstore, a wonderful little bookstore there. And so I went into the bookstore and walked around, looked around like everybody does. And all of a sudden, and I tell you, this is so crazy, the book literally jumped off of the shelf. I mean, literally jumped off. I caught it, and I don't know if somebody pushed it or somebody threw it at me or what it is, but it was strange. Anyways, it was the first of the series of the Montauk books called Montauk, and I probably get this screwed up, Montauk Journey in Time or something to that effect, okay? Anyways, it's the number one in this series. It's a whole series of books by Nichols and Moon. You can get them. They're amazing books. You just get the whole series. And there's a few other ones beyond the original series of people that were involved in it. But anyways, the whole deal was I read the book. I read, I don't want to say a quarter of it, maybe a quarter of the book sitting right there. I bought the book, took it home, read the whole book, got the next one. And then stuff started happening. And I finally came to the conclusion I must have had some connection to all this because the synchronicity was too amazing. I would run into people that had interviewed and had done some hypnotherapy on some of the people if you're familiar with it, the Boys of Montauk. These are the people that were basically taken, kidnapped basically, and put on this time machine. So I ended up running into this person, or I ran into another person who was related to somebody that was involved in it. A good friend of mine, she dated one of the guys that was on the time machine, one of the famous guys, Cameron Duncan. So it shouldn't have happened this way. Most people don't even know about Montauk, but I was running into people over several years, a whole series of them. So that was Montauk, and there's so much to that.
Lots of stories there.
There's a lot of good stories there. There's a lot of things we could talk about, and I will, especially if you want it. But anyways, get the books because the books are really cool, and I believe a lot of it's true. Okay. So Dulcie's very interesting. Went up there, did a conference with Norio Hayakawa. Norio is well known in the field of UFOs and paranormal. But anyways, he's a good friend of ours. And what Norio did is he decided he wanted to do a conference on the underground base there. So we went up there, he went up there and negotiated with the Native Americans. And so we went up there and we did a whole series of talks up there. It was very cool. It was just, there were some really interesting things that happened to us while we were there.
But you got to wait for it.
Yeah, but you're going to have to wait for that one. So that's a goodie.
And then we also did Dugway Proving Grounds. And that was a bucket list for me, especially when we were living in Utah. And that was what I had heard was the new Area 51. So that was a place that I wanted to go check out. And we did. And we had some really interesting experiences there. And that'll be part of the stories and the different topics that we'll be discussing on our channel. And it'll change week to week, so you'll never know what you'll be getting.
Right, that's right. Let's see, what else? In New Mexico, both of us had a Dogman experience. We're not going to give you too much on that, but that was when we saw a Dogman. It's pretty incredible. And we'll do a whole episode probably on just that experience, or we can combine a couple things with that. But that was a great thing. In Utah, we had a lot of experience there. Skinwalker Ranch. We went to Skinwalker Ranch.
And you'll get all of that coming up.
Right. We'll do that all coming up.
Yeah, we've already discussed all of that.
Okay.
So what we're going to be doing, just so you all know, is that Michael's going to have, we're going to switch out week to week. So you'll be hearing from Michael and his experiences, and then you'll be hearing about me and my experiences, and you might even get us together in a few.
We're going to probably
videos.
do we'll probably do one with Rambo, one with me, and then maybe one of both of us together to talk.
Yeah, exactly.
We may even have where I may interview Rainbow, and then vice versa on questions and things, etc. And then maybe down the road, when we really get good at this, we may do some live ones. We'll see. We'll see. And maybe
we have lots of plans for this channel because we like to take you with us traveling as well with our research, and so we're going to be working on that. But we're a bit older, and so technology is not one of our...
Hey, we got this done.
We barely got this. You have no idea what we went through to get this far. But we're going to do our best to try to make this as exciting as possible for everybody.
Right.
So what we thought we would do is, because of the name of our channel, Dimensional Walking, is we thought that I would start off so that I could explain, because I had done an article, actually 2 articles on dimensional walking, and Michael had thought, hey, I like that name for our channel, so that's why we named it that. But I want to explain to you what that is and what goes on with the dimensional walking in more detail. So that will be the next video coming up, so that you can understand a little bit better what it's all about. Right.
Yeah. And one more thing I want to just say is that our email address is dimensionalwalking@gmail.com.
You might want to spell it for him.
Really? DIMENSIONAL walking WALKING @gmail.com. So anyways, if you send us questions, anything or send us what you would be interested in that we should discuss or go over or whatever, we would love to hear from you. So send it there, and we will jump on that and get back to you as soon as we can.
And we want to let everybody know too that we're here to help. If anybody is having any problems or needs any help with anything regarding the paranormal, abductions, UFOs, or anything else, such as cryptids and other types of entities, We've had many years of experience between the two of us of dealing with all of this, and we're not afraid to, walk into the shadows and figure out what's going on.
Right. Yes, we definitely have had some amazing experiences, and we want to share them with everybody. And hopefully, like I said, 2021 is going to be a great year. So we're starting this off on New Year's Day. That's when it should be posted, hopefully, or right around New Year's Day. And then we'll do the next one. Rainbow has committed to doing, unless we have some issues, we're committed to do the following Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then we will do one every Wednesday thereafter. And of course, I believe how it works, you'll be able to pick up on past episodes once we start accumulating some episodes. So anyways, we are thrilled. We are excited. We hope to hear from you.
We don't know what we're doing, so you'll start off from the
no.
very beginning,
Right.
With all the technology, and go along with us, and hopefully we'll get
and
better.
We'll get a little bit better. And
Yeah.
like I said, we'll do a live one. We'll maybe have some guests, but that's way down the road because
we'll do some live as well.
yeah,
That'll
we'll
be
do
fun.
some lives, but that's going to be down the road. But
Yeah.
anyways, we hope you enjoy. And like I say, ask us questions
Yeah.
and ask us what you want to have us have on the channel, and
And we
we'll
gotta
try.
go because we have a cat scratching at the
Yes,
door.
yeah, the
so
cat wants to
thank
come
you
in.
for watching,
Yes, thank you for
and
watching.
we will see you all soon.
We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.